My dear fellow citizens, today I stand before you to remind the world of one simple truth. India will not tolerate. India will not tolerate injustice, aggression, corruption, or division. We are a nation built on peace, but we are not weak. We believe in harmony, but we will never allow anyone to test our patience or our sovereignty. And today, my society will always, India's foundation has always been rooted in peace, tolerance, and respect for all. But when it comes to injustice and aggression, the nation's stance is unyielding. India's history is filled with moments when it has shown extraordinary patience, yet it has never bowed to oppression or intimidation. From the days of foreign rule to modern challenges, India's resilience has been its greatest weapon. The principle of zero tolerance towards injustice comes not from anger, but from a deep commitment to righteousness and the protection of human dignity. Every citizen, from the villages to the cities, carries within them a spirit that refuses to accept unfairness, inequality, or exploitation in any form. The idea that India will not tolerate aggression is both a moral and strategic declaration. In a world where nations often seek to impose their will through might, India chooses the path of strength through wisdom. However, that strength has its limits when provoked. Our borders, our culture, and our citizens are sacred, and any attempt to undermine them is met with unified resistance. This determination is not merely military, but also emotional and spiritual. It represents the collective heartbeat of over 1 billion people who believe that their country's peace cannot be disturbed by external threats or internal divisions. India's zero tolerance for injustice extends beyond national defense. It reaches into every aspect of society. Whether it's standing up against social inequality, protecting the rights of women and children, or ensuring justice for the marginalized, India's moral compass points firmly toward fairness. The concept of justice for all is not just a slogan, but a living value embedded in the Constitution and practiced by millions of Indians who dream of a just and equal nation. Our democracy thrives on this principle, ensuring that no citizen feels helpless in the face of wrongdoing and no oppressor feels safe under the shelter of corruption or power. Moreover, this spirit of intolerance toward injustice serves as a guiding light for future generations. It teaches the youth that silence in the face of wrongdoing is a betrayal of the nation's values. Every act of standing up for truth, every voice raised against oppression, and every step taken to preserve peace contributes to India's unbreakable identity. The message is clear and powerful. India's tolerance for peace should never be mistaken for acceptance of injustice. When faced with aggression or unfairness, India will always rise, not with hatred, but with courage and unwavering resolve. India's commitment to national security is not just a policy. It is a promise to every citizen that their safety, dignity, and freedom will always come first. The nation's defense is built upon centuries of valor, sacrifice, and unshakable determination. From the icy heights of the Himalayas to the vast coastlines of the Indian Ocean, every inch of Indian soil is guarded by men and women who stand as the shield of the nation. Their courage symbolizes the heartbeat of a proud civilization that refuses to be intimidated by threats, both visible and unseen. This commitment is not driven by fear, but by a deep love for the motherland. A love that demands protection of its people, heritage, and sovereignty at any cost. In today's rapidly changing world, the meaning of national security has expanded beyond traditional warfare. India understands that security is not limited to defending borders, but also includes protecting its cyberspace, economic stability, and internal harmony. The government and citizens work hand in hand to ensure that India remains resilient against every form of attack, whether it is terrorism, espionage, or misinformation. The digital age brings new challenges, and India is strengthening its technological backbone to prevent intrusions that threaten the peace and integrity of the nation. National security now involves both soldiers on the front lines and citizens who safeguard information, values, and unity in their daily life. The brave soldiers of India stationed in harsh terrains and unpredictable conditions, embody the very spirit of this national commitment. Their sacrifices remind the world that India's patience should never be mistaken for weakness. Every soldier, every officer, and every patriot contributes to a collective force that defends the nation not only with weapons but with loyalty and pride. Their courage is a silent reminder that the peace enjoyed by millions is earned through sleepless nights, unyielding duty, and unbreakable discipline. The flag they protect represents more than a nation. It represents the dreams, struggles, and hopes of countless generations. Furthermore, India's commitment to national security also lies in the unity of its people. The secure nation is one where citizens stand together, irrespective of religion, language, or region, and work collectively toward progress and peace. When every Indian becomes aware of their role in protecting the nation, through awareness, vigilance, and integrity, the strength of the country multiplies. True national security is achieved not only through military might, but through a shared spirit of patriotism, trust, and collective responsibility. It is this spirit that ensures India remains strong, vigilant, and fearless in the face of every challenge. Corruption is one of the greatest threats to any nation's growth, and India's determination to eliminate it is a reflection of its deep commitment to justice and equality. Corruption weakens the roots of progress and denies citizens the fairness they deserve. India's fight against corruption is not merely a political agenda, but a moral crusade that involves every individual, from leaders to common citizens. The vision of a corruption-free India is built on the belief that honesty must be the foundation of every action, and integrity must be the guiding principle of governance. This battle is about restoring faith. Faith in the system, faith in leadership, and faith in the idea that hard work and sincerity should always triumph over greed and deceit. The consequences of corruption go far beyond financial loss. They affect the nation's soul. When corruption spreads, it creates inequality, it discourages innovation, and destroys the trust between citizens and their institutions. It diverts resources meant for education, healthcare, and development into the hands of the undeserving, leaving millions deprived of opportunities. India's decision to fight corruption is therefore a decision to protect the dreams of its people. It is a call to ensure that every rupee earned through the sweat of honest work contributes to the welfare of society and not to the pockets of the corrupt. This mission demands courage, discipline, and transparency, virtues that define the character of a strong and united nation. The government has taken several bold steps to build systems that are transparent, accountable, and resistant to misuse. From promoting digital governance to reducing human interference in administrative processes, India is moving toward a future where corruption has no place to hide. Technological advancements, such as direct benefit transfers, digital payment systems, and public tracking of welfare schemes, have minimized the scope for manipulation. Yet, technology alone cannot win this fight. It requires the collective will of the people. When citizens refuse to participate in corruption, when they demand honesty from their leaders, and when they themselves uphold ethical values, corruption begins to lose its power. At the heart of this movement lies a deeper message: the transformation of national character. The fight against corruption is not just about laws and punishments. It is about changing mindsets and building a culture of integrity. Every student who studies sincerely, every worker who earns honestly, and every leader who governs with accountability contributes to this transformation. India's progress depends on this moral awakening, where corruption is seen not as a part of life, but as a crime against the nation's future. India's strength has always stemmed from its extraordinary diversity, a land where countless languages, religions, traditions, and cultures coexist in harmony. The idea of unity in diversity is not just a slogan, but a way of life deeply embedded in the hearts of its people. From the snow-capped mountains of the north to the sunlit coasts of the south, India's unity shines through its vibrant differences. Every festival, every dialect, and every cultural expression adds a new color to the nation's identity. What makes India truly unique is that, despite these differences, its people stand together under one flag, bound by a shared sense of belonging. This unity is what gives India its unshakable strength and resilience in the face of challenges. Throughout history, India has faced attempts to divide it by colonizers, extremists, and even by social inequalities. Yet the spirit of unity has always triumphed. The secret of India's endurance lies in the wisdom of its people, who understand that diversity is not a weakness, but a symbol of strength. When millions of voices, beliefs, and traditions come together in mutual respect, they form a powerful harmony that no force can break. This unity has allowed India to withstand centuries of change, while maintaining its cultural essence. It is a living example to the world that different communities can coexist not in conflict but in cooperation and compassion. In modern times, the call for unity has become even more vital. As India continues to grow as a global power, it must ensure that divisions of caste, religion, language, or region never overshadow the greater identity of being Indian. True progress can only be achieved when every citizen feels included, valued, and represented. Discrimination in any form weakens the moral fabric of the nation, while unity strengthens it. The Constitution of India stands as a guardian of this principle, promising equality, justice, and fraternity to all. Every Indian has a role to play in upholding these ideals, ensuring that unity is not just preached but practiced in everyday life, in schools, workplaces, and communities. The beauty of Indians' unity lies in its ability to evolve without losing its essence. As generations change and new challenges arise, the values of respect, inclusion, and togetherness continue to define what it means to be Indian. The youth, in particular, carry the responsibility to preserve this harmony by rejecting hatred and embracing diversity with pride. When an individual respects another's language, faith, or belief, they are not just being tolerant, they are strengthening the nation's core. India's diversity is its heartbeat, and its unity is its soul. Together, they create a rhythm that has echoed through centuries, inspiring the world with the message that humanity thrives when differences are celebrated, not feared. The youth of India are the true architects of the nation's destiny, carrying within them the energy, vision, and courage to shape a brighter future. India's progress depends on the empowerment of its young generation, a force of over 600 million minds filled with ideas, passion, and potential. The empowerment of youth means giving them not just opportunities, but also the freedom to think, create, and lead. It means ensuring that every young person, regardless of their background, has access to education, employment, and equal chances to succeed. A nation as vast and diverse as India can only achieve greatness when its youth are not just dreamers, but active participants in building the country's tomorrow. Education is the foundation upon which youth empowerment stands. Quality education equips young people with knowledge, but more importantly, it inspires them to question, innovate, and transform society. In today's digital age, learning goes far beyond textbooks. It includes skill development, critical thinking, and technological awareness. India's focus on skill-based education, entrepreneurship, and digital literacy is creating a generation that is globally competitive yet deeply rooted in national values. Empowerment also means making education accessible to every corner of the nation so that no child is left behind due to poverty, gender, or geography. When education becomes a right in practice, not just in words, empowerment becomes a living reality. The economic empowerment of youth is equally vital. India's growth story depends on young entrepreneurs, innovators, and professionals who dare to challenge the old ways and build new paths. Startups, digital ventures, and creative industries are now the engines of progress, and young Indians are leading this revolution with confidence. The government's initiatives to promote innovation, digital finance, and employment opportunities reflect the nation's belief in its youth. But true empowerment also requires a mindset of self-reliance, the understanding that success is built through hard work, integrity, and perseverance. When the youth believe in their ability to change their circumstances, they not only transform their lives, but also contribute to the strength of the entire nation. Beyond education and employment, youth empowerment is also about instilling values of leadership, responsibility, and patriotism. The young generation must understand that their role extends beyond personal achievement. They are the guardians of India's ideals and identity. When the youth stand against corruption, advocate for equality, and work for social justice, they embody the true spirit of a strong nation. Empowerment is not simply giving power. It is awakening a sense of purpose. It is about guiding the young minds to use their freedom wisely and their talent meaningfully. The future of India lies in the hands of its youth. And when they rise with courage and conviction, the entire nation rises with them. India has always believed that true strength lies not in aggression but in peace. The principle of strength through peace defines the very soul of the nation, a philosophy that has guided India since ancient times. Our great leaders, from Ashoka to Mahatma Gandhi, have shown the world that peace is not the absence of power but the highest form of it. India's strength comes from its ability to remain calm amidst chaos, patient amidst provocation, and compassion even in moments of conflict. The path of peace has never been one of weakness. Rather, it has been a deliberate and courageous choice. A choice to uphold humanity, justice, and moral integrity even when faced with hostility. Peace for India is both a strategy and a value. As a nation surrounded by complex geopolitical realities, India's commitment to peace demonstrates its maturity and wisdom. Our diplomacy emphasizes dialogue over domination, cooperation over confrontation. This approach does not mean that India will tolerate threats or violations of its sovereignty. Instead, it means that India chooses to lead by example, showing that progress and security can coexist with compassion and respect. The strength of a peaceful nation lies in its ability to inspire others, to transform enemies into allies, and to build bridges where walls once stood. India's global standing today is a reflection of this peaceful strength, one that commands respect, not fear. Domestically, the idea of strength through peace extends beyond foreign policy. It influences the way we live as citizens. A peaceful nation is one where communities coexist with harmony, where differences are resolved through dialogue, and where unity prevails over division. India's diversity makes peace not just a value, but a necessity for survival and growth. Every citizen who practices tolerance, empathy, and understanding contributes to this national strength. The peace that flows from within our homes, schools, and communities becomes the foundation of a stable and prosperous society. True power is not in force or domination, but in the ability to maintain calm and justice, even when circumstances test our patience. At the same time, India's strength through peace is safeguarded by its preparedness. The nation believes in peace, but it is a peace protected by strength. Our armed forces, technology, and national resilience ensure that our desire for peace is never mistaken for vulnerability. It is this balance, the will for peace combined with the power to defend it, that defines India's character. When the world looks at India, it sees a country that stands tall not because of its might alone, but because of its moral courage and unwavering faith in peace. This belief has carried India through centuries of struggle and will continue to guide it as a beacon of wisdom and strength for generations to come. Pride and patriotism are the lifeblood of India's national identity, flowing through the veins of every citizen who calls this land their home. The sense of belonging to a country as ancient, diverse, and resilient as India fills every heart with a deep and unshakable pride. This pride is not born out of arrogance, but from the recognition of India's enduring spirit, a civilization that has faced invasions, colonizations, and division, yet has always emerged stronger. Patriotism, in its true sense, is not merely waving the flag or singing the anthem. It is the daily act of honoring the nation through responsibility, integrity, and unity. When an Indian works sincerely, respects others, and contributes to the progress of society, they demonstrate a love for their country that words can never fully express. The feeling of patriotism connects generations. From the freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives for independence to the citizens of today who continue to build and protect the nation. The blood, sweat, and determination of countless heroes have written the story of India's rise, and that legacy continues to inspire millions. True pride in the nation comes from remembering this history, cherishing the values it taught, and passing them on to the next generation. Every citizen must feel that they are a part of this ongoing story, that their actions, no matter how small, contribute to the greatness of India. Patriotism is not confined to moments of crisis or war. It lives in everyday acts of honesty, kindness, and service to the nation. India's pride also lies in its ability to uphold its culture and values while embracing modernity. The world looks to India as a land of knowledge, spirituality, and creativity. A nation that has given birth to leaders, thinkers, and reformers who changed humanity's course. From yoga to science, from democracy to digital innovation, India has continually proven that progress and tradition can go hand in hand. Being proud of India means celebrating both its rich heritage and its boundless potential. It is about recognizing that the strength of the nation lies not only in its economy or military, but in its people, their resilience, compassion, and unity. This sense of pride encourages every Indian to rise above differences and work toward the collective good. At its core, patriotism is a sacred bond between the citizen and the nation, one built on love, respect, and duty. It demands that we not only enjoy the privileges of freedom but also shoulder the responsibilities that come with it. A true patriot does not seek personal gain at the cost of national interest, but stands firm for justice, equality, and truth. The pride of being Indian must be reflected in how we treat one another, how we protect our environment, and how we uphold the dignity of our nation before the world. When every citizen lives with this sense of commitment and pride, India becomes more than a country. It becomes a living symbol of courage, unity, and timeless greatness. As we look toward the future, let us remember that the strength of our nation lies in the unity of its people, the integrity of its actions, and the depth of its courage. India's journey has never been easy, but it has always been inspiring. From the sacrifices of our forefathers to the achievements of our youth, every chapter of our history reminds us that progress demands perseverance and pride demands purpose. The time has come for every Indian to rise with conviction and stand together in defense of the values that define us. Let the world see a nation that stands firm, not through force, but through faith, not through aggression, but through determination. India's voice will continue to echo through the ages as a call for peace, justice, and strength. We will protect what is ours, cherish what unites us, and confront every challenge with courage and clarity. The message is clear and unwavering. India will not bend before fear, will not falter before threat, and will not compromise on its principles. We are a people of peace, yet powerful beyond measure, humble in our hearts, yet unshakable in our resolve. Together, we will continue to build a nation that commands respect, radiates hope, and stands as a beacon of dignity for the entire world. Because when the spirit of 1 billion hearts beats as one, there is nothing that can divide, weaken, or silence us. The world must know India will not tolerate, and India will never fall.